said, why did you just get back from a trip? He said, no, it was snowing at the time. These great big flakes were coming down. And he said, every time it snows like this, these big flakes, it puts me right back to being overseas during the war. And in the next 15 or 20 minutes, in the middle of that deserted grocery store, this guy unloaded all these stories that he remembered from overseas, all the things he'd experienced. Some of that stuff was funny, some of it was heartbreaking, and some of it was stuff that would make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. And we kind of struck up a friendship. I remember that morning when I said goodbye to him, he kind of got ready and moved on. And as he was walking away, I said, it must have been really scary being over there as such a young kid, you know, being overseas and seeing the things that you saw and having to do the things that you did. I remember as he was walking away, he looked back and he said, I was afraid every minute I was over there. And that always stuck with me. About a year after that conversation, I got around to writing the song that I'm going to play for you guys. And I remember I played it on the NTV News one night, and I hadn't recorded it yet. And he saw it, and he told my father the next day. He knew my father a little bit. He told my father the next day that was really what it was like. And he was very pleased with the way it turned out, and that's probably the biggest compliment I've ever gotten as a songwriter, you know. For somebody that you respect so much, to hear him say that you know, give you a pat on the back, it was nice. And we kind of struck up a friendship, and I would go visit him and his wife on a regular basis. And he died about 7 years ago, but his wife is still alive, and I just visited her a couple of days ago. And on one of our visits, his regular thing was at 11 o'clock in the morning, every morning, 2 scotch and water. Way more of a man than me, that's a bit early. But one morning he called me, he said, come down for a chat, let's have a drink. So I went down, and usually when we would get together, he would always bring it around to the war, because he knew I was interested in that stuff, and he wanted to talk about it. But this morning we weren't on the war topic at all. We were talking about something that was in the news. And I was about to comment on something that the commentator was saying on the TV, and he cut me off, he pointed at me. And he said, do you know what my biggest fear is now? And I said, what's that? He said, I'm afraid I'm going to get Alzheimer's and have to go back to the war. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, you know. I was thinking, this guy was 23 when he came home, now he's 83, you know, 60 years. And every day he told me, not a day goes by I don't think about it. He used to call it getting the bad thoughts. And he was telling me that day, he said, I get the bad, he said, the only thing that can make it go away, the bad thoughts, is if I hum Amazing Grace to myself. And his wife spoke up from the kitchen and she said, Les, you were humming that yesterday morning. And it just struck me, you know. So I wrote this song, and I'm going to play for you guys. It's called Normandy, Newfoundland. He's staring out the window, moon is shining down, ghostly like the color of his hair. He doesn't see me, doesn't look around. It's like he isn't even there. I couldn't help but wonder what's been troubling the man. And so I asked his darling wife, and she said, well, he's still haunted by the fight, and it's Normandy and Newfoundland tonight. His memories dragged him back to a time when he was young, 1944, June the 21st. He was fighting in France, hiding from the Hun, in some ruined Catholic church. Just beyond the walls of God was hell and blood and hate. And as the moon lit up the foreign sky, heard himself say to a comrade, I wish Normandy was Newfoundland tonight. He said, overseas, friend, I've been there 1,000 times, fishing fearless, tiny boat adrift. But this overseas a different kind of thing. I'm frightened every moment that I live. Just beyond his window pane is hell and blood and hate. I see his face reflected by the light. In 60 years, having killed what's in his eyes, it's Normandy and Newfoundland tonight. Normandy